and his question is about the heavyweights. It is, who is strongest mentally out of Joshua, Wilder, and Fury?
Well, by far, Fury. I mean, after the way Joshua, you know, my brothers and sisters in London, I love yous, right? And listen, Joshua came back and redeemed himself. I will qualify that. But after the way Joshua had spit the bit in the first Ruiz fight, and like I said, I give him credit for the comeback. Could you really see Joshua getting off the floor, as Fury did in the first Wilder fight 2 times? I don't think you could. I don't think you could, honestly, if you're going to be honest about it. And the same question for Wilder. Could you see him getting off the floor the way Fury did, after Wilder not just got beat by Fury, but dissipated mentally in that fight? Look, I understand he got hit behind the ear in the third round with a punch that threw his equilibrium off. But if you really know what you're looking at, you could also see him evaporating, mentally in the fight, being pushed backwards, not being able to be the bully, not being able to land that sledgehammer, not being able to be the boss. And you could see him disappearing. And then he, maybe it was just a bad moment, but then he blames it on the suit that he wore into the ring. There's my answer. So with that, can you say that Wilder is stronger mentally than Fury? I don't think so. I don't think Fury or Joshua or Wilder and Joshua could make that statement based on the evidence in front of us, if we're honest about it and we examine it in a proper way, unemotionally, but just in a way that it should be examined. That, again, the way that Wilder dropped, and he's some puncher now, Wilder, maybe the hardest puncher ever in heavyweights, maybe not. You got Joe Louis, you got Mike Tyson, you got Max Baer, you got Ernie Shavers, you got George Foreman. But he's one of the hardest. And after the way that he dropped Fury, again, I can't imagine Wilder off of the way he behaved in the last fight with Fury. And again, I understand he got hit this punch. I get it. But everything put together, I can't imagine if he had been hit with that punch that he'd be able to get off the floor twice.
Right.
The way that Fury did. So I'm going to go with no contest in that one.
Yeah, with Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually such an interesting one, too, because, it's often discussed Fury's own mental battles and coming back from really, almost unimaginable levels of depression and considering taking his own life. And it's almost like that such low valley that he faced, he's able to come back from it more mentally tough than almost anyone.
Hey, it's part of what made him mentally tough. How about that?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Rather than his weakness, that might be his strength. That he's been there and he's seen things that we haven't seen. He's been able to think about it and envision things that we haven't been able to. He's been to the brink. He's been to the edge of the cliff. He's been to the dark caves where he wasn't sure he was going to come out of. And he understands there's nothing darker. Anything else he faces can't be darker. It can't be undoable. Maybe that's his strength. Maybe that's his power. Maybe that's his light. I would say, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.